You won't believe what just happened on 90 Day Fiancé. Weeks before the season finale, TLC pulled one of their most talked about stars off the show without a single warning. Jasmine Pineda, the fan favorite who brought raw honesty, laughter, and drama to every scene, was suddenly gone. No announcement, no explanation, just a shocking blackout that left viewers staring at empty screens and unanswered questions. The fan reaction was instantaneous and brutal. Social media exploded with disbelief, outrage, and memes that didn't hold back. People were crying, screaming, posting videos of themselves in shock. One moment, Jasmine was at the center of the season's most intense moments. The next, she vanished like she had never existed. And the cast? Confused, blindsided, scrambling to adjust to her absence in real time. Production teams had to rush, editing scenes, rewriting lines, and trying desperately to patch plot holes while keeping the rest of the season on track. I'm Jessica from Reality Spots. Welcome. Hit subscribe and comment below with what you think TLC is really hiding behind this sudden firing. Did they overstep? Or is there more to the story? What makes this firing so explosive is not just the timing. It's the fact that Jasmine was a star who played by her own rules. She spoke her mind, she refused to be manipulated into fake drama, and she gave fans exactly what they craved: authenticity. But authenticity apparently comes with consequences. When networks think it clashes with their planned storylines, the ripple effects were immediate. Fans were organizing online campaigns, hashtags were trending globally, and reaction videos went viral faster than TLC could issue a statement. Behind the cameras, the chaos was just beginning. Cast members had to navigate scenes that referenced Jasmine, editing teams were caught in the middle, and insiders hinted at heated conversations and creative clashes. Everyone was left asking the same question. Why now? Why fire her weeks before the finale when she was central to the season's biggest moments? Every fan, every insider, and even other cast members were left hanging. The story didn't just end with a missing star. It set off a chain reaction of speculation, rumor, and suspense that no one saw coming. So what really pushed TLC to pull the plug on Jasmine Pineda at the peak of her arc? Was it contract issues, creative clashes, or something entirely unexpected? By the time the season finale airs, the answers might shock you even more than her sudden disappearance. Stay tuned, because behind this shocking firing lies a tangled web of drama, loyalty, and secrets that could change everything you thought you knew about 90 Day Fiancé. Fans were the first to feel the shock, staring at blank screens and wondering if their favorite star had just disappeared into thin air. Social media became a battlefield within minutes. TikTok blew up with reaction videos showing tears, rage, and utter disbelief. Instagram stories flooded with posts demanding answers, while Twitter became a non-stop thread of fury, speculation, and conspiracy theories. Hashtags like "Nonch bring Jasmine back," "Justice for Jasmine," and "Not TLC cancelled" her shot up the trending charts, proving that this wasn't just a small hiccup, it was a full-blown fan storm. Reaction memes were ruthless. Some depicted empty chairs and missing scenes as if the show itself was haunted. Others highlighted plot holes created by Jasmine's sudden absence, turning the network's crisis into comedy for millions. But behind the jokes, the emotional weight was heavy. Viewers felt betrayed. For weeks, they had followed her journey, laughed with her, cried with her, and celebrated the highs and lows of her story. And then, without warning, it was ripped away. That sense of connection, of shared investment, created a unique bond between Jasmine and her audience, and it made the firing feel personal. Yet not everyone agreed on the outrage. A small group of fans defended TLC's move, suggesting that perhaps the network had reasons beyond what viewers could see. Maybe there were contractual issues, production conflicts, or creative differences. But the majority saw it as a violation of trust, a sudden betrayal that disregarded the emotional journey fans had been part of for weeks. The contrast created a constant debate online: fairness versus manipulation, network control versus fan loyalty, authenticity versus storyline. Every scroll revealed a new perspective, a new argument, and a new question. Fans didn't just vent, they organized. Some created countdowns demanding statements from TLC. Others started online petitions, while fan accounts dissected every scene Jasmine had filmed, looking for hints of behind-the-scenes drama. Every social media post became a piece of a puzzle, a clue in the mystery of why she was gone. Could their collective outrage sway the network? Would Jasmine finally break her silence and explain her side? These questions hung over every post, every comment, every video reaction. Psychologically, this frenzy made sense. People invest emotionally in reality TV because they see themselves in the storylines. Jasmine represented honesty and courage in a world full of scripted drama, and her removal felt like a personal betrayal to fans who had trusted the show. Their reactions were more than outrage. They were grief, confusion, and disbelief wrapped into a digital storm that seemed impossible to calm. Even influencers and reality TV commentators joined the fray, analyzing every potential motive for the firing and predicting what could happen next. The discussion wasn't just about entertainment. It was about fairness, transparency, and the emotional contract between star, network, and audience. Every tweet, every post, every viral video became evidence in a debate that had no clear answers. And just when fans thought the chaos couldn't get worse, whispers from insiders hinted at explosive behind-the-scenes drama that might explain why TLC made this jaw-dropping move. The big question remained: what exactly triggered this fan tsunami? And why did the network decide that removing Jasmine was the solution to whatever problem they were facing? Behind the cameras, the fallout from Jasmine's sudden firing was immediate and chaotic. Cast members walked onto set expecting to film familiar storylines, only to find themselves in a whirlwind of confusion. Scenes had been rewritten overnight, lines adjusted, and crucial moments removed entirely. Production crews were frantically trying to patch continuity gaps while juggling deadlines and keeping the season on track. Every day felt like putting out fires, and the stress was palpable across the set. Editors faced the impossible task of erasing Jasmine from episodes without leaving glaring holes. Some scenes were digitally altered, group shots cropped, or reactions trimmed to avoid obvious inconsistencies. Even small details, a laugh, a glance, a whispered comment, had to be cut or reworked to maintain the illusion of a seamless storyline. The result was a patchwork season that fans might notice as abrupt or disjointed. But from a production standpoint, the priority was clear: protect the narrative arc while managing an unexpected crisis. Insiders revealed that tension on set escalated quickly. Cast members who had bonded with Jasmine were caught off guard, unsure how to interact in scenes referencing her or her plotlines. Arguments reportedly broke out over how to handle remaining footage, with some actors frustrated about the sudden disappearance of a key character and the pressure to adjust on the fly. Even seasoned crew members admitted that the level of disruption was unlike anything they had experienced in previous seasons. From a behavioral perspective, conflicts over storylines intensified the stress. Jasmine's absence meant the balance of tension, humor, and emotional beats had shifted entirely. Producers had to improvise new dynamics, and cast members were being asked to play parts in stories that no longer felt authentic. The friction between adhering to scripted plans and responding to the audience's growing outrage created a high-stakes environment, one where small disagreements could quickly turn into full-blown disputes. The ripple effects went beyond logistics. Plot gaps became more visible, and fans who were already following every detail online began noticing inconsistencies. Reactions to social media clips, memes, and insider reports added pressure, creating a cycle where production decisions were influenced not just by storylines, but by real-time audience sentiment. Every edit, every cut, and every reshoot became a delicate balancing act between narrative integrity and fan expectations. Amid the chaos, rumors began to circulate about the real reasons behind Jasmine's departure. Some insiders hinted that the disruptions weren't purely logistical. There were whispers of disagreements over creative direction, possible tensions with other cast members, and decisions that could suggest bigger issues behind the scenes. The unpredictability of the situation left everyone, crew, cast, and fans, wondering whether the turmoil was symptomatic of a deeper, more controversial problem. And just when production thought they had things under control, leaked whispers suggested there might be explosive secrets still hidden. Secrets that could rewrite everything fans thought they knew about this season. So the question lingers: could these behind-the-scenes conflicts hint at a larger scandal, one that goes beyond Jasmine's firing and touches the very core of the show's production? Jasmine's sudden exit wasn't just a storyline problem. It could carry serious contractual and financial consequences. Reality TV contracts are notoriously strict. Missing scenes, refusing storylines, or walking off set can trigger penalties that range from fines to withheld payments. Sources suggest that Jasmine's situation could involve both disputes over pay and obligations she allegedly didn't meet after the abrupt firing. Even if she acted within her rights, the network's legal team would be watching every clause closely, making this a high-stakes situation for her career. Beyond immediate penalties, the long-term impact on her reputation is significant. Reality TV relies heavily on visibility and audience perception. A sudden firing can make networks cautious about casting a star in future seasons, and industry insiders often warn that one high-profile exit could limit opportunities across multiple shows. Fans might follow her on social media, but the professional doors within the reality TV ecosystem are controlled by producers and networks who prioritize reliability and cooperation over fan loyalty. Social media offers a double-edged sword. On one hand, Jasmine's fanbase can amplify her voice, advocate for her, and even pressure networks into reconsidering decisions. On the other, it can highlight tension and make networks wary of dealing with cast members perceived as outspoken or unpredictable. Past reality TV examples are telling. Stars who clashed with production, like certain housewives or previous 90 Day Fiancé cast members, have faced public backlash and long-term professional consequences, even when fans sided with them. Jasmine now walks a fine line. Her authenticity earned admiration, but her sudden absence could be interpreted as unpredictability in future negotiations. The financial stakes are eye-popping. Depending on the clauses in her contract, a single firing could potentially cost hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost earnings, combined with future opportunities that might never materialize. The emotional toll adds another layer. Fans may support her, but stress, public scrutiny, and career uncertainty can be overwhelming. It's a high-pressure situation where personal integrity, public image, and contractual obligations collide. And the outcome isn't always predictable. Retention booster. But what happens when a single firing can cost hundreds of thousands and years of credibility? That's exactly the gamble Jasmine and TLC are playing. The larger question looms. Did the network overplay their hand, risking fan backlash and damage to their own reputation? Or were they making a calculated move to protect the season's narrative and long-term ratings? Every edit, every clause, every public reaction is part of a much bigger chessboard, and the stakes for both Jasmine and TLC have never been higher. Jasmine's appeal wasn't accidental. On screen, she was outspoken, candid, and unafraid to push back when storylines felt forced or unfair. She didn't just react, she questioned, she challenged, and she brought a raw honesty that fans hadn't seen in seasons past. That kind of authenticity is rare in reality TV, where producers often craft narratives to heighten drama, even if it means nudging cast members into uncomfortable or exaggerated moments. Jasmine refused to bend. She refused to play a role that didn't align with her experience. And for many viewers, that was refreshing. Insiders suggest that her refusal to follow the network's preferred narrative created tension behind the scenes. Scenes allegedly had to be rewritten or cut entirely when Jasmine wouldn't participate in storylines she disagreed with. Even social media behavior was reportedly monitored. Posts, comments, or videos that didn't align with the season's arc might have escalated friction with producers. For a network built on predictability and control, a cast member asserting boundaries can feel like a threat to the entire operation. From the audience's perspective, the contrast couldn't be starker. Fans saw her as a hero of honesty, someone who brought relatability and depth to otherwise scripted interactions. They watched her laugh, cry, and navigate relationship drama with a sense of realism that felt genuine. Each moment erased or edited out after her firing felt like a violation, a public erasure of a personality people had invested in. Empathy for Jasmine grew because viewers weren't just watching her, they were part of her journey. Removing her suddenly made it feel as though the network was rewriting history, taking away the authenticity that made her story compelling. Meanwhile, the network's motives likely centered on consistency and control. Producers have a carefully planned arc for each season. Every interaction, fight, or reconciliation is designed to fit a narrative rhythm, and a cast member refusing to align can disrupt that carefully timed drama. Jasmine's authenticity may have been a risk to the season's continuity, forcing the network to make a choice between preserving their plan and maintaining the trust of fans. That decision, however, came with immediate backlash, social media storms, and intense scrutiny from reality TV commentators and insiders. Behavioral analysis suggests a classic clash of priorities: the individual's need for self-expression versus the organization's need for predictable output. Jasmine's assertiveness, refusal to compromise, and commitment to her personal ethics may have been admirable. But in a system that rewards compliance and dramatized storytelling, those traits were interpreted as disruptive. Retention booster. And here's the twist. Could Jasmine's integrity, the very quality that made fans adore her, have been the single reason she was removed from the show entirely? Fans are left grappling with this paradox. How someone celebrated for authenticity could be erased because they refuse to conform. The tension between audience loyalty and network control has never been clearer. And the unanswered questions hang over every edited scene and missing moment of Jasmine's story. Jasmine's firing isn't just a personal story. It exposes a bigger picture about reality TV culture. Fans invest in personalities, narratives, and emotional arcs. They trust that the journeys they follow will be authentic, even when drama is amplified for entertainment. When a network abruptly removes a central figure without explanation, it fractures that trust. Viewers feel betrayed, not just by a star being gone, but by the illusion of honesty the show promised. Psychologically, audiences gravitate toward genuine cast members because they reflect real emotions, real choices, and real conflicts. Jasmine's candidness created relatability. People saw someone navigating life's messiness, facing tough choices, and speaking her truth. That connection is fragile. Networks risking it can provoke extreme reactions. Fans didn't just lose a cast member, they lost a mirror of honesty, a figure they could root for without filters. This raises ethical questions that ripple beyond one firing. To what extent should networks manipulate storylines, censor personalities, or enforce compliance for the sake of drama? Is controlling cast behavior a necessary production tactic, or is it exploitation disguised as entertainment? The debate is intense online, with commentators questioning whether audience enjoyment justifies erasing someone for not fitting a script. Fans argue that the tension between scripted drama and authentic behavior has real consequences: financial, emotional, and reputational for both cast and viewers. The Jasmine incident also highlights audience power. Social media amplifies voices, creates collective pressure, and turns private grievances into public campaigns. Fans react emotionally, create memes, and organize petitions, making it harder for networks to act without scrutiny. At the same time, this visibility can influence future casting decisions, but it doesn't always guarantee justice for the individual. It's a constant push and pull between loyalty, control, and performance. Retention booster. How far will networks go to control drama, and what does it mean for every fan watching at home? Ultimately, Jasmine's removal forces reflection on the nature of reality TV itself. Is this a single network exercising authority, or is it a window into industry-wide priorities, where ratings, narrative control, and predictable arcs take precedence over genuine storytelling? Each edited scene, each unexplained absence, and each behind-the-scenes adjustment tells fans a story about power: who holds it, how it's used, and who pays the price. Fans aren't just watching events unfold. They are participants in a culture where authenticity and manipulation collide. Jasmine's story is a reminder that the emotional stakes extend far beyond one cast member, raising questions that touch every viewer who ever felt connected to the show. As the dust settles, speculation about Jasmine's next steps is everywhere. Will she return to reality TV on another platform, launch a social media campaign to reclaim her story, or even pursue legal action against TLC for abrupt termination? Fans are watching her every post, reading between the lines of subtle captions and piecing together clues that could hint at her strategy. Each update fuels excitement, frustration, and hope, keeping her presence alive even off-screen. The firing itself left a lasting imprint on the franchise. Fan trust took a hit as viewers realized that authenticity can be sidelined when it clashes with production priorities. Social media culture magnified the outrage, turning Jasmine's absence into a viral conversation that extended beyond the typical 90-Day Fiancé audience. Memes, reaction videos, and discussions about fairness spread across platforms, highlighting not only her influence, but also the deep emotional investment fans had in her journey. The show's reputation, once built on relatable drama, now faces questions about how it treats its cast and how far it is willing to manipulate storylines for ratings. For production, the challenge is clear: maintain narrative continuity, appease fans, and manage internal tensions while keeping the season engaging. For Jasmine,